This is exactly what the Boston Red Sox need. Despite not having bats like Alex Bregman and getting subpar pitching performances from ace Garrett Crochet as well as even Walker Buehler, the Red Sox were able to go out there and win 2 of the 3 games in the biggest series up to this point in the MLB season against an all-time rival in the New York Yankees. I'm here to break down major performances that are going to propel this Red Sox team going forward, especially when they get Alex Bregman back. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Red Sox Digest. But first, please do remember to go down and click the subscribe button, as nearly 90% of you guys watching this video are not currently subscribed to the channel. We do appreciate the love and support, so thank you guys. But now let's get to it and break down why teams should be hoping and trying to not let this Red Sox team to get hot. Because right now, without Alex Bregman, it seems like they are starting to find a groove. And no, that is not a bad thing. That is not like, oh, Alex Bregman was the problem. That is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the other guys are starting to step up and find a rhythm offensively, specifically some guys that have been slumping and guys that are filling in positions for Alex Bregman. So, to quickly start, the Red Sox win 2 of the 3 games over the New York Yankees. They dropped the first game 9-6. Walker Buehler was on the mound and he was not happy about his performance. We have quotes that we're going to break down from him about his performance, but then the Red Sox would go on to win back-to-back games, giving up 7 runs in those games, but again scoring more with 10 runs scored in the second game and 11 scored in the third. Overall, the offense was just clicking for the Red Sox on all cylinders, multiple home runs, multiple extra base hit games in this series for the Boston Red Sox as a team. And overall, they got around some subpar pitching, especially from big names that we expect a lot from, including Walker Buehler. So let's start with that. First things first, Christopher Smith on Twitter goes on to quote Walker Buehler from post-game following his start against the New York Yankees, where again he was not very pleased with his performance. And again, Christopher Smith goes on to say, Red Sox, Walker Buehler, quote, "This organization put a lot of faith in me this offseason, and I've been fucking embarrassing for us." And that is the end of the first quote from Walker Buehler, being very blunt, being very honest about his overall performance up to this point in the year with a Red Sox jersey on his back. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say the Red Sox blew it. They shouldn't have paid Walker Buehler. He was a bust. He had a big moment last year, and he got paid for it, and now he's a fault. No. Give Buehler some time. He is a veteran in this league. He's going to find a rhythm. He's going to find a groove on the bump, and he's going to be at least a good pitcher. Now, there are levels to it, and being good sometimes does not get the job done. We've seen it already up to this point in the year, not only for the Red Sox, but just in the game of baseball. It happens. But if you allow some time to go by, allow these guys who have multiple games and hundreds of games under their belts throughout the entirety of their career, in October, in big moments, high leverage situations, like closing out the World Series just last year, Buehler is going to be able to find a groove, and I really think he's going to be able to flip things around and be able to just really be better and be the Walker Buehler that everyone was hoping the Red Sox were getting this offseason. Now, Christopher Smith would go on to subtweet the original tweet we just read and broke down with this. Quote, "It's tough," Buehler said. Quote, "It's obviously a big game and a big rivalry that I was excited to be a part of. And for it to go the way it did is super disappointing, especially after the past 2. 3 weeks of kind of prep and throwing and all that kind of shit and how I'm feeling. Physically, I feel great. And for it to go that way, it sucks." And again, that is the end of the quote from Walker Buehler, breaking down how he's feeling going into this game and really his overall just feeling about how he performed in this appearance against the New York Yankees, knowing the situation, knowing all of the contributing factors of him getting thrown out of the game after returning from injury, not being able to log those innings, coming back, not really being able to find that groove because of the inconsistencies in his starts and his availabilities. And then he does return in a very, very big game in hostile territory in New York, in the biggest rivalry, in one of the biggest rivalries in all of sports history. And again, it's just not the overall performance that Walker Buehler himself was looking for again, from himself. Now, to move on from this to the second game that the Red Sox would end up going on to win 10-7. Garrett Crochet was on the mound, and he wasn't as good as we've seen in the past. And yes, it is a daunting lineup. It is a daunting matchup against the New York Yankees, again, in hostile territory. He went 6 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned run, 9 Ks, and 1 walk. I will say he did strike out Aaron Judge 3 times in the 3 appearances that he did get to face Aaron Judge, absolutely dominating in those big matchups. Garrett Crochet not shying away from any of the moments, but that Yankees lineup does have they're really built well from top to bottom. Now that they have Jazz Chisholm back and DJ LeMahieu starting to play baseball again it feels like for the first time in 5 years. They are slowly but surely rounding themselves out as a team, and Garrett Crochet went out there and gave it his best, and he was pretty good. Again, the strikeout numbers were great. He did get hit around just a little bit, giving up a handful of runs. Despite that, the Red Sox offense was able to get the job done. In this game, a lot of great performances, including a career game from Romy Gonzalez, someone that was filling in, playing first base, and he went 3 of 4, was absolutely stellar in this game, and he wasn't the only one. Christian Campbell is one of those guys that through these 2 massive wins for the Boston Red Sox have been able to find a groove, and Campbell has been non-existent after the first month and a half, 2 months of this MLB season, and he was great. It seemed like he was a lock for the Rookie of the Year. Jacob Wilson got hot. Christian Campbell slowly but surely completely fell off the cliff offensively, and now it seems like in one of the biggest series of the year, at the biggest series up to this point in the year, without a doubt, but it feels like it's going to be one of the biggest series of the entirety of the season for the Red Sox, getting a flip switched here and finding a groove despite not having players like Bregman and not getting the performances off the mound that you're hoping for, and having to go out there and score a lot of runs against a good team, the number 1 team in the division currently, and that's sitting ahead of you. These were huge wins, and that if Christian Campbell is able to find that rhythm offensively and return to the form that we saw in the opening months of this MLB season, it could be absolutely massive for the Boston Red Sox. Where did I put it? Right here. Again, Campbell, 2 of 3. Romy Gonzalez, 3 of 4. And then Trevor Story, someone who cannot stop expanding the strike zone and whiffing and striking out at a high percentile, was able to put some things together and be a substantial piece to this Red Sox offense. And they just look polar opposites. They just look so different here when Trevor Story and Campbell and these guys that you don't expect a lot of offensive production from, like Romy Gonzalez, go out there and start swinging the bats meaningfully, and they are moving guys around the bags, and it's phenomenal to see. They're hitting the ball extremely hard into the gaps. They're being able to get on base, move around the base paths, whether it's 4 extra base hits off the bat or if they're able to get on first and then move around the base paths by stealing bags. These guys are making substantial differences, especially in a moment where the Red Sox need it without someone like Alex Bregman, in a series where it felt like we are going to need some veteran leadership. And it's funny I say that, and I'm glad I'm hooking it this way, because with that veteran leadership and the lack thereof, Carlos Narvaez, someone who has been bounced around for the entirety of his career, that was sent to Boston in exchange for basically nothing just this past offseason. Carlos Narvaez is the starting catcher for the Boston Red Sox. Someone that we've been very high on this channel for multiple reasons, specifically the defense, and hoping the offense will slowly but surely shape up and come around hopefully this season. And I'm here to tell you it has. Narvaez is phenomenal, and he has been just flat out spectacular for this Red Sox team. Not only behind the plate, calling a game, again, with these big guys on the mound like Buehler and Crochet and Hunter Dobbins and whoever else it may be, calling the game. Also, the threat of throwing guys out, whether it's on a back pick or throwing down the second on a stolen base opportunity. Narvaez is phenomenal, and now the bat is showing up exponentially. In this game, he went 2 of 4, and this is the final game of the series that we're referencing, that the Red Sox did win 11-7 just last night against these New York Yankees. Narvaez went 2 of 4 with a 3-run home run, which I'm going to play the clip of because it was a moonshot, and it felt like if the Red Sox don't score at least 1 run in this current situation with Narvaez up to bat, it felt like the game was a wash. Rodon was good up until this point. He was starting to lose command of his pitches, and Narvaez jumped all over a fastball, and he was able to tattoo it, giving the Red Sox a lead and really just sparking everything. Not only the offense, but the team as a whole, and it felt like they really had a chance to win that game then. Yes, obviously they have a 2-run lead now after a 3-run shot after being down 1 in the the top of the 6th inning. But it was more than that. It felt like the Red Sox offense was ignited with that swing. And in that same game, Abraham Toro, someone again filling in for Alex Bregman, playing either third or first, wherever they really put him in that game situationally. 3 of 5 in that game. Flat out phenomenal. Filling in, playing his role, and doing even more than that. And to add to it, Christian Campbell, once again, in the second consecutive game, again, finding his footing, finding that rhythm. 2 of 3 in the game, just, again, hitting for good average, getting on base, being aggressive. He hit a home run in this game to opposite field, to the short porch in right field, and he kind of pimped it. I don't have the clip for you. I will tag it down below if you guys are interested in seeing it, if you have not already. But he hit it. It was a pitch away. He was a little late on it. He was able to get his hands through it, and he slapped it to right field. And when he hit it, his response was one that he kind of felt like he hit a home run. It felt like it, or at least it appeared like it felt like he got all of it. And despite being late to it and shooting it down the right field line, he had a little bit of a bat flip and kind of tried it down the first base line. It ended up getting over the short porch, but nothing like Carlos Narvaez's moonshot that he did hit. We're going to play that for you now, but really quick, the Red Sox cut the lead for first place to 4, now opening up a series against the Tampa Bay Rays. It's going to be massive. It opens up a 6-game homestand for this Boston Red Sox team before hosting the New York Yankees once again for the second time in 3 series. This time will be in Fenway. It'll be a monster game, and I can't wait to see how it all turns out. Max Fried will be on the mound for one of these games. We are yet to see him against the Red Sox through these first 3 games that we've seen. But now, for all the fun stuff, here is Carlos Narvaez's monster home run to give them that 2-run lead in the top of the 6th inning in the Game 3 of this first 3-game series against the New York Yankees.
Rodon at the belt. He throws. Narvaez swings and drives one high and deep in the left field. It is back. It is gone. Carlos Narvaez.
God, he's good at baseball, ain't he? He is so good at baseball. I'm so happy the Red Sox have him, and Connor Wong is not getting the majority of the starts because defensively he is such an improvement, and now the bat is surely alive for Mr. Carlos Narvaez. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know down below what your overall opinions are on this series win for the Red Sox over an in-division lifetime rival in the New York Yankees. And I will see you guys on the next one. Make sure you check out the next video or the newest video on Red Sox Digest about top prospect Roman Anthony getting called up to the big show. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on the next one.